Hi everybody, it's Anthony Morrison and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Blog. So listen, I hope last week you got excited, you got engaged, and that you're here right now to learn how to write hyper-responsive ads. Not going to waste a lot of time talking to you on the Weekly Blog about my life and all that stuff right now. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to be just honing in on how you can write ads that get a hyperactive response. So what are the goals of your ads? Well, number one, it's to get more clicks. So you want your clicks to increase, right? And the way that you do that is you've got to be different. You can't have ads out there that look like everybody else's ads. You've got to think a little different. So let me give you a story. So I'm driving down the main interstate, all right, in a really large city. 5-lane highways, billboards everywhere. I never notice billboards. I think it's a waste of advertising space. But I look up, and as I'm driving, I see one that says, "Your wife is not hot," in big, bold letters. It says, "Your wife is not hot." Well, that elicited an emotional response from me. I'm not married, but I'm thinking, geez, you're telling me my wife is not hot, you know? Instantly, I had an emotional response to that ad. I finished reading the ad, and the ad said, "Because you purchased a new air conditioning system from so-and-so company." Now, if I lived in that city and my air conditioner went out, I would immediately remember that place. I've remembered this for 2 years now. I've told this story because it got such an emotional response from me. Another one, I was doing one of our trainings in Utah, and I was driving down the interstate, and I saw this ad. It said, well, like this, fat, in big bold letters. So it's basically you are fat in big bold letters, right? But it says you're fat, and then it said is removed by da 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 da. It was basically a company that does liposuction, right? And so they're saying you're fat, and then they're saying it's removed by their company. Now, amazingly enough, when I look up and I see something that says basically I'm fat, I have an emotional response to that. I look up and I think, well, what are you talking about? And then it said, you know, is sucked out or removed by so-and-so surgeons. Now see, you look at this example, and then you think of it in another term. You think of it if they just had a big billboard there that said, you know, so-and-so surgeons, liposuction, you know, 3 days a week. You would never notice the ad as you're driving down the interstate. But because they said something that elicits an emotion, they said I was fat, which made me feel something. So I noticed what I was looking at, I read it, and now I know the name of the company that does liposuction. Not that I really think that I need liposuction anytime soon, but the point is if I did need it, I'd know where to get it. The same thing with the example about my wife not being hot gave an emotional response to me. Now I know where to get an air conditioning unit. You see, you've got to craft your ads so that you're targeting people with different approaches to get the same results. If you want people to notice your ads, you've got to elicit an emotional response. And to do that, you've got to be different. If you're able to pull that off, you're going to get an increased number of clicks, which means your advertising cost is going to go down and your return on investment is going to go up. So my challenge for you this week, rewrite your ads to where they're hyper-responsive. Get results by targeting emotions, saying things like this, getting people to notice your ad, and then say, oh, it's for that. And it just so happens that that's something they're interested in. They click on, you're different, you get more clicks, more return on investment. If you haven't joined the AnthonyMorrison.com newsletter, please do so right now. That way we can keep in touch with you and send you more information just like this. If you're not a member of our live community, please join right now. And as always, watch next week right here on the Weekly Blog. I'm going to teach you the second way that I get hyper-responsive ads. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you right here next week on the Weekly Blog.